All right, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Don't forget, go ahead and like, subscribe, share, do all the good things that you normally would do, I guess. But then also you can stop by our store and get as many things as you want in our store, and you can get 30% off your purchase. All you got to do is type in HBCU band. Again, you can get 30% off your final purchase in our store, and all you got to do is type in HBCU band. I know it's a little weird. It's weird. There's no music. There's no music. The reason why is because, yo, what up, Fred? The reason why is because I have a soundboard. I use my soundboard for my other podcast at the job, and I left the plug for my soundboard at the job. So, hey, man, we rolling in silence today, but it's all good. Uh, but Portia is here. We haven't seen Portia in like 19 years. So we want to make sure that we give her her time. So Portia, what's up? How you doing?
Oh man, I'm making it. Life been lifing, but God is good still. So I'm happy to be back. I did miss y'all. I did feel like a piece of me was missing, but this season was a monster. So I had to do my little job, and that didn't allow me to be here as much as I wanted to. But I am back.
Yeah. You were definitely missed. It's really interesting. You're here today, but Quan is out.
But
So
Kwan is out.
we gonna get the band back together eventually. You know, if we can get all three of us randomly, I'm just gonna be like, hey, let's get Maya in the fold somewhere. Uh,
Right.
I didn't call you. It wasn't that I didn't want to call you back. It wasn't like that. What happened was I told you I was at work, which I was, but I didn't leave until like 10 o'clock. I don't be calling people that late, so it's tight. It was tight. And then today was just it was a day I was trying to spend time napping before I go back to work tomorrow. So it was tight. So that's why. That's why. Uh, but got a couple of things to talk about today. I want to start off. I want to start off a little light, and then we're gonna get into the heavy stuff. All right. So y'all go ahead and bear with us and sit through it. Get ready to have this conversation. This first topic that I told her off air, and I'm gonna be very honest. I've had it waiting until she showed up, and I wanted to have this conversation. Now, it is very imperative that if you are a band director or have been a band director before, or know anything about band, or just even care, right? This conversation is necessary, and you'll see why in a second. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the first topic.
What are we doing? Designing shows and ignoring the color wheel completely. I am seeing these colors
Ugh.
just thrown in a giant pile on these flags and on these costumes. I think we were talking about the digital printed costuming earlier. I think that has something to do with it. It's like, oh, now we can suddenly add all of the colors and it costs the same amount as adding one color. So let's just throw every color in there. And no, just stop. Like, think about it. When you're doing your flags, think about how they're going to actually look when that picture gets blurred together as it's moving through the air and spinning. When you're Think about how your guard is going to look if they're wearing the exact same colors as the rest of the band because they're going to get lost. You're not going to see them as much.
Oh no.
And if the show calls for it, cool. But like, really, you have to think about what your show needs in order to decide on what colors you want. So that's my what are we doing?
All right. So I've been saving that for a while. I wanted to get your thoughts on that. I saw that, and I have a couple of thoughts on it, but I wanted to get your perspective on what she said and what her thoughts were.
I agree. Um, the attire piece does not really translate to HBCU band because we normally don't switch it up. But it aligns. She said it a different way, but it aligns with some of what I've been saying. Like that's why I hate when they twirl with colors the exact same color as the uniform because on the field it all starts to blend together. It's the very reason that I don't the Silks don't have a green flag because the uniforms are green, the grass is green, and then we're gonna put a green flag out there. We do have some with like lime green in it that's gonna pop. But I agree. I also think that you just shouldn't pick a flag because you haven't used it this season or haven't got a chance to it. Does it complement the music? That's the goal. It's supposed to bring color and add an additional element to the show. And I think sometimes, based on what I see, people don't care about that. That's also why placement matters. That's also why I get upset when some people just throw their color guard in the back of the band. Like, it's not really doing the job, and they're not moving. They're not, doing things that complement the music. And what type of silk you use matters in this situation, should complement the show. A lot of times if we're talking about love or something like that, I'll do red or something really, really bold. If it's sad, or may use darker colors. Like, you have to think about those things. So I don't think enough people pay attention to that. I do know that, when you look at WGS and Winter Guard and things like that, and a lot of the core style groups, they pay attention to those things. The flags are always going to have something to do with the theme or match what their intentions are for the show. And then a lot of times they'll switch to make sure that as the music changes, they're able to complement that. But I don't see enough of that in HBCU band. So I agree with her.
So you said something that I'm gonna challenge you on here, because I have
Okay.
a difference of opinion.
Okay.
Do you think that we shoot ourselves in the foot because we don't take the time to actually change uniforms, because we're so stagnant on what the traditional type uniform of our guard should look like? Because dancers
Are you
change uniforms all the
speaking
time.
are you speaking of HBCUs in general?
Yeah,
Um I guess it depends on the goal of it, right? Because then if you change uniforms, then you have to make sure, or you should, let me say that, you should make sure that uniform and the flags don't clash,
I agree.
because sometimes that happens. And so then you have a situation where the guard uniform and guard flag, then the dancers are going to come out with something else on. If you have all of that, to me, you almost have to coordinate, because otherwise it's going to look like clothes stowed up in there. It's a whole bunch of colors going on. And I don't like that at all.
So
So
so the coordination between guard instructor and dance instructor, shouldn't that be something that happens kind of anyway, to build
yeah, I mean,
collaboration
we're
amongst
possible. We've done
auxiliary?
a lot more. We've like in previous years, I'll kind of be like, well, what y'all wearing? But this year, I don't know if people noticed, but for like half the games, we coordinated. So it would be like a little hint of our flag is red. They got on red. Our flag is blue. They have on blue. And we just decided, this year to do more of that, like even putting the flag up against the uniform kind of thing, which is something that we did more of this year than ever before. Um, because it does complement one another. I think it looks nice. Now we didn't want to keep doing it because we didn't want people to be able to guess what Hot Ice had on. You got to leave some element of surprise. But I mean, even with us in the guard, we coordinate so that they complement one another. Because otherwise, it can start looking crazy out there. So I don't know. I mean, is it possible to change uniforms and it work in your favor? But I'm also a proponent of, if you're twirling a flag, then the attention should be on that silk and what you're doing with that, and not necessarily what you have on. But I mean, there are some theme situations where I could see it adding some additional elements to it.
Okay. So you said something that I absolutely agree with. I cannot stand, for the love of me, right, when they just take color guard and they just throw them in the back
The woman
Do
in the
some drop
back.
spins for me. Y'all just stay back there. Y'all got it. And don't incorporate them in the drill whatsoever.
At
I
all.
can't stand when you have color guard that are incorporated in a drill, but the silk be the same color. So
As the
everything that they're doing gets lost in
that
translation.
blends together. I
So
hate that with passion.
I know, and I'm gonna big them up for a second. A&T does a really good job of changing silk throughout the show to
Mm-hmm.
complement whatever it is that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my question is why more HBCUs don't take that risk in doing that with their silks? Because when you think
Tradition.
about it, there are more HBCUs with color guard than there's not.
Tradition. When we first started doing it, when I was in the band, we did a lot of green and gold,
Fair, yeah, that's true.
and we did purple.
Yeah.
That's it. We ain't really deviate. Now we don't do none of that. And when we first started doing that, people, even the purple, people were like, wait a minute. But now they look forward to, well, what we gonna do this week? The girls even put up polls sometimes. What kind of silk do you think we're coming out with this week? It's become a thing, but it also complements, it stands out, it puts on display um the work that you're doing, because otherwise it gets lost in translation. You also need to know when to use certain things. And this is some of what I saw. I think we're going to talk about band of the year in domes and outside at night. I stray away from anything dark, because under those lights and things like that, you want something that'll pop. I would do a brighter color, something that's going to stand out more. If you have darker colors and you have them in the daytime, it's going to stand out. But it also depends on the venue, the song, and what you're doing within that show. But I don't know that a lot of people are going into that level of detail, and they should.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking that as you were saying that, I was like, man, so you really got to truly, and I kind of know this, but just listening to what you're saying, you got to really truly plan and look at the totality of what's going on and ultimately communicate with the band staff, right? Like you can't just be like, all right, we the flags, we just gonna do this and be done with it. Let the band director be like, all right, y'all gonna be in the back, and then just be like, all right, cool, we got it. Like it really takes the collaboration of all minds to make it all make sense.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right, yeah. I've been wanting to get that out for a while. So I'm glad I was able to get that out now. I can go ahead and put this one away. Uh, it's interesting. We saying that the color guard must go by. How do we know that detail is something they're into? I don't know. You want to answer that one?
I don't know that there's a book. I think if you are a coordinator or a band director and you want to put on and fulfill to what I feel like the job of color guard is, you need to be considering these things. And I know how much time, energy, effort, and work goes into this. And based on that, you should probably want to make sure that all of that work is accurately on display. And when you use colors, flags that are the same color as the uniform, some of it, depending on where they're placed, gets lost in translation. And so I get that some people and some band programs have different visions for what they expect or what they want. I'm saying, as someone who is in the art form, when I see these things, I feel like some of them may be missed opportunities or not fully utilizing this resource that you have to enhance what your band is doing. So I don't know. There's not a hard and fast rule, and people like what they like, and programs have their traditions and whatever else. But I think we could be doing more. We could be pushing the envelope. We could be doing and incorporating different elements and different parts of the show. Like I know for us, once we pick a song, the arrangers work with Tim and Bethea to come up with what that drill is going to look like. Based on what that drill looks like and where we're going to be, we develop routines based off on that, along with the music, for maximum impact, for maximum effect. where we need to be, which way we need to be facing. Like I saw some of this with Band of the Year. If you are going up and down the field, your flag motion should be from side to side or in front of you or behind you so that it can be seen. Because if you do things parallel with your body when you're marching like that, the effect is not the same. So it just depends on what your goals are. Maximum impact, maximum effect, utilizing and fulfilling the role of color guard, if that's your goal. They're just some things that you should be paying attention to. And if not, they'll be out there, but I don't know that the full impact of what they're doing is going to be seen or felt.
And there you go. Y'all coming here, y'all can learn, talk crap in the comments and everything. See, we give you everything. So we got to move on to the next topic. This next one is going to be very interesting because of the fact that it's something that I talked about a while ago, but I wanted to make sure that we had this conversation because some of the comments that I was getting, oh my gosh, we're going to talk about it. So here we go.
What's that clicking, Steven?
What a nation, if you're ready to turn up with us, make some noise!
Hurry up.
Let's go! Have you ever seen State go 8?
I see it. Oh! Absolutely not. They need to go. Make him go. I can't believe that. That is so rude. He need to go.
Let's go, Hornets!
For him right now, Tasha. We need to hold that rule. That is ridiculous. Wow. How rude.
In a video taken by TikTok user Andrea Teray, one kicker in college would act out.
So rude. That's so rude. And the coach not gonna say nothing?
You see the One American
He's
Got
standing
Talent
right
Christmas
there.
Barbie Show and Showtime at the Apollo. It's the Honeybees!
Are y'all serious? Oh!
So let's talk about this. I know it's a little ways away. So there has been not apologies specifically, but apologies from presidents, so on and so forth. I ain't heard nothing from that dude. But I did an LBR on this, and the LBR that I titled was have bands gone soft, and I did a long spiel about that particular situation, right? Then I happened to look in my comments, and man, some of the comments that I saw, I was a little disappointed. I'm gonna be very honest. I'm looking at it right now. So it sounds like you want violence on the field. That is what you don't need. As someone who witnessed fights in the 80s and 90s, no bands have gotten soft. Kids today are operating under a different and more strict set of rules than we did. There were no zero tolerance rules or laws back then. Now a kid is jeopardizing their education when the administration are capable of willing to deal with situations. Let's see. I can't say if they're soft, but I can say that providing grounds have less ritualistic Oh, glazing, and you know what I mean. And why I say it, I wish I could elaborate. Okay, he kind of, I understand. He was trying to hide some stuff. Band kids ain't soft. The football staff should teach their players not to do that. The band handled the situation very well. I disagree. Uh, Somebody was trying to be funny, but it says it's crazy to see that others are advocating for bands to fight in this situation, and it continues to go on, so on and so forth. Listen. And I need y'all to hear me very clearly. I stand on what I said. There is no way that young dude would have made it out of there safely. And he ain't have a helmet? Oh nah, he rocked. But that's my opinion. I want to get the opinion of Portia while she's here today. So Portia, what are your thoughts on this particular situation?
All it's gonna take is for that to go bad one time, and we not gonna have no more of this. But it keeps happening because there are no consequences for the football players. He don't care nothing about that apology that the university gave for him, excuse me. You know, who knows if anything even happened to him. And to me, the thing is that this was deliberate because they weren't anywhere near the end zone. You could have went in the end zone and kicked towards the goalpost. That's where the ball is going to need to go. And clearly there's a net on the sideline because that's the way you warm up when the game is going on. So you chose to do this multiple times without regard. And I get the kicking the ball into the band was disrespectful, right? When we were in the band, the field show would have been over because it's a problem, right? But I get them. Maybe they didn't react to that. But the moment he pushed somebody in that band program,
Because that's assault at that point.
that
I
is
have a right-
assault.
I have a right
and
to
I
defend
have a
myself.
right to defend myself with this 6-foot flagpole in my hand.
And let me be very clear. And I said this off air, and I'm gonna say it now. I didn't realize that he pushed. Like I realized that he pushed a band student. I didn't realize that he pushed a flag girl until after I did my LBR. Oh no, bro. You done put your hands on one of the flag girls too? And then the thing that makes me even more frustrated about it was he made it past about 3 rows of actual band students.
Absolutely.
And the flag girl was the only one that was
That he pushed.
that stepped out and was like, "No, you can't be in here."
You understand me?
How is that possible? No one breaks the ranks. And you mean to tell me you can make it through 3 rows and a flag girl is like, "Nah, you can't come in here." Come on, bro. Maybe my mindset is just older. Maybe the gray
and I'm
hair
gonna
is
tell
the
you,
reason.
it wouldn't have been no lawsuit because he assaulted her. So if she cracked him across the head with a flagpole in defense of herself, there's no lawsuit. I defended myself because you put your hands on me. And I'm gonna say, and I don't know if this right, wrong, or indifferent. But not even the girls that I coached today that wouldn't have happened that way. Not with my squad. That's crazy. That is absolutely nuts.
That is insane. So here's a question. Based on all of or a lot of the comments that I have received and seen, right? Do you believe that we are too busy trying to take a diplomatic approach, hoping that there is a great result on the other side?
Yeah, because it keeps happening. Nothing has changed. How many videos have we watched on this podcast? Like 4?
Has it been 4?
I don't know.
Maybe around there, 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm. And it just keeps happening because these apologies or whatever else are not deterrents for them doing it.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't. So here's, I don't believe this diplomatic approach is gonna fly, right?
No,
I
they're gonna keep
understand,
doing it because what's happening to me? What, the university is gonna apologize
and I'm still
and
gonna
we
keep
moving
playing
on.
examples. And what I mean by examples, all it takes is one situation
Hmm.
where football player gets rocked by 200 band members. There's not more football players than the band. So all it takes is for them and the world to see, hey man, all right, I guess these band members is tired of us doing this. We need to have another alternative at this point.
Norfolk State has had 2 situations already. Our band program. A couple of years ago, the football players from Morgan decided they wanted to run through us.
I remember that one. There was another one after that.
Yeah, we was in Tennessee.
Oh,
And
in the
they decided
stands.
to try to cut through. Yeah, in the stands. Those were my girls. And they stopped him and he tried to buck. And the guards hopped across seats. And so did I. What are you doing? What's happening?
I remember that. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, like the amount of disrespect is crazy. And it was so bad. And the band was so crazy. The Legion flipped out and was looking for him
Yeah.
back on campus. So we had to have a meeting between coaching staff and us to try to settle it. Like,
All it takes is just somebody to be made an example that we're not playing. Like the idea of
because
this.
clearly the messaging from the schools, the consequences that are happening are not stopping it. At least once a season now, and I'm saying at least once a season,
At minimum.
at minimum, it's happening. And then more often than not, because at least this situation, the situation that happened with my girls in Tennessee, and I think we saw one from FAM or somewhere like that. It's always females. Like, why y'all keep bucking on chicks? Like, what's wrong with you?
What situation with fam? There was a situation with fam.
What was it, FAM or Prairie View? One of them we watched on here. It was a whole situation. It was like a year ago or
It's
more.
been
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's been a lot of them. You may be right.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
I mean, it's oftentimes them like doing this to females,
Yeah.
and I just think that's crazy.
I told when I did the LBR, I told the story of what happened when we were marching back from fam.
Yeah,
And they punched, I think it was Tory, wasn't it? There was a situation when I was at PV,
well,
last game of the season.
yeah,
A lot of people don't even know about this. Last game of the season, Arkansas Pine Bluff. We were marching back to the stands, and it was a situation that went down. And you're right. The football player punched a girl.
I'm telling you.
You're absolutely right. I just thought about it. Whoa. It was a girl. So, yeah, the football players think that it's just they can just get easy. But here's the problem. Again, the flip side to that is the lack of the consequence. You put your hand on a girl. First of all, you put your hand on a band member. We're supposed to be ride or die for each other.
Yeah,
Supposed to be. I don't know what everybody else's band do. I know in the Legion that's how we operated. So that's the way that we supposed to be. But secondly, you put your hand on a female member of the band. I don't know how you make it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's weird to me, and that is why I asked the question, have bands gotten soft?
because the other thing is this, right? Oh, the band is going to be diplomatic. The band is what happens when a band student gets hurt? Because you're also pushing me. This situation, he didn't have a helmet on, but they are fully padded, normally larger than the people they putting their hands on. So what's too far? What's acceptable? What if that girl had fell and hit her head? What does apology do for that? When Teddy went to go try to break it up, one of them dudes from Morgan hit him in the head with his helmet. Teddy had a concussion. You know what happened to that young man? Nothing. Tell me how that's okay. For all y'all, let's sing songs, hold hands, and kumbaya. And that was in what, 2021 or something like that? It's 2025. And every year we're revisiting this subject.
At least once a year. And I think it's really interesting that it's happening at HBCUs.
Yeah.
Because it's to my understanding that everybody had a respect for the bands at HBCUs, but apparently not. I thought that cross HBCUs, it's an understanding that that regardless of the band, you don't break the ranks and you're not gonna disrespect your fellow HBCU in, I don't know if there's a word, but I always thought that was understanding. But apparently that ain't the case. Because at least the situation that happened with us at FAM, it wasn't a football player. It was somebody that just a random fan. But now we're talking about people who are in the activity of whatever it is that you do at the school. And you mean to tell me there's not a camaraderie or there's not an understanding or a building of a relationship on both sides? If you go to this particular HBCU, you know how your band get down. So I know that if I'm facing another HBCU, I should understand and respect how that band gets down. It should be the same love across the board. Apparently, it don't work like that.
And I know they're saying he not from here, whatever the case may be. He wouldn't have kicked that ball out there during a game. Why? Because they was on the field. This band was given that time on the field. There were other ways for him to warm up. They weren't using the other part, the end zone. Where's the net that you would have warmed up with on the sideline during a game? And you did it more than once. And he knew he was wrong because before he kicked it the first time, somebody said something to him and he stuck his middle finger up at them.
Yeah.
So to me, it was deliberate. And to push whoever let me tell you something. Even if that young lady hadn't reacted, as the coach, if I had been on that sideline and saw him push one of the people I coach, they would have had to carry me out of there. Carry me out of there. I already told y'all earlier when the man made the little comments about the honeybees. I would have been right up there knocking on the door at the press box. Hey, sir, say it again. The amount of disrespect is crazy. And so I get it. We don't want college students fighting and all that other stuff. But where's that same level of accountability for the football players that are starting this?
Ain't no level of accountability for the football players because you got to remember they've grown up in a world and a society that let them pass through anything anyway. You got to remember when they were in their high schools, they didn't have to. And I'm not saying this is for every single football player or athlete. So let me be very clear on that because I know how y'all take something. I say one thing and y'all think I mean it's the whole totality. But yeah, I got to preface everything. But when it's more than likely they went through high school, probably wasn't doing well in their grades, but hey, we need him to play, man. He our star kicker. We need him to play. So can we go ahead and pass him? Ain't had to really do no work. So now he got a sense of entitlement. Hey man, I can do whatever it is I want to do. So they come in with that mindset. So that's what it is. Let me get to this super chat. Appreciate you, Fred. Let's see here. He says, if it was our own, we would have started to fight. So do we feel like the other race doesn't deserve the same approach? Interesting.
I don't know. I think it's bad all around. I think the precedent that is being set is crazy. And where's the line? What's we gonna just keep accepting apologies? Not even from the person that did it, which is really crazy.
It's from the president.
Right.
Which we don't even know it's from the president. It could have been from the president's secretary.
It could be Chat GPT, child. We don't know.
Chatty wrote it.
You hear me?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a race thing. From the other situations that we've experienced, were they all Caucasian?
I think the young man that tried to cut through the silks in Tennessee, he was black because I had rolled up on his mama.
You rolled up on his mama?
They were standing there with him.
Wow. I thought it was his daddy.
There was a whole family with him.
Okay. All right.
And then when he started arguing with the girls, they chimed in. And then I chimed in.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't know. I will say this in regards to that question though. We are quick to fight each other within the band. If it's another band and we got animosity towards that other band, we on some straight drum line. You
Right.
play on my drum, I'm gonna swing on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Or you get too disrespectful, we willing to handle that. But I'm not a proponent for violence, but you started. I don't see these apologies helping nothing.
no, I don't think they help anything at all. I don't think they help.
It's not
anything at all.
deterring anything. And mark my words, next year this time we're gonna be doing the same, having this same. Here we
Same
go
conversation.
again. Is how I'm gonna start it off next year. Here we go again.
Same conversation, different school.
Same, and this not even the first time that I saw this season. It's a video out there that somebody sent me of Hampton with somebody kicking or going through their color guard. Chanel sent it to me because she said it couldn't be the Silks. The whole field show over.
Football player?
Yeah.
See, now I'm gonna go searching for it. Hold up.
Let me see if I can find it.
No, you now you about to have me searching for it because
I'm telling you. Let me
Hampton.
see. I think it was Hampton or was it A&T? Hold on. Let me see.
Because now I'm interested. Now you got me searching. Because then if the next question I'm gonna ask is going off of Freddie's post question, was he black or was he white?
I don't know. I can't. The video is gone. I'm trying to.
Oh. See now I'm curious. Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can find it. But yeah, I don't know what be up with these folks, but
okay. Well, listen, keep searching for it because I'm interested to see it because I didn't know nothing about it. This is some new information.
yeah, she sent it to me, and I was like, "Oh no."
So, with that being said, though, let's move on to the topic that everybody wants to talk about.
Does
The
everybody
best-
want to talk about it?
Everybody wants to talk about this, man. It's the best thing since sliced bread, brother.
Okay.
Hey. So, Band of the Year is over. There have been declared winners. Westlake High School for the high school division, Miles College for Division 2, and Southern University, the Human Jukebox for Division 1. As I said on LBR, I'm going to definitely give congratulations and kudos to all bands that did perform. And then also those who did uh, get top spot. So, question. Well, first of all, I'm gonna be honest. I had Portia go and look because Portia don't be looking at nothing no more. So she looked at it. What were your thoughts? I don't want to ask. I'm not asking who. Do you think the winners were declared fairly or nothing? I just want to see what your thoughts were first before I ask that next question.
I really enjoy was it Velvet State?
Mm-hmm.
I did. I like their
No,
show.
was it Fort Valley? I think it's Fayetteville. We want to. But yeah, go ahead.
I like their show.
Okay.
I did. Um, yeah, I like their show. I like their use of color with the flags. They have the group that does multiple things. I
Yeah.
really like. I thought the
They got
red was
all-purpose
pretty. It's
jerseys.
part of. Yeah, they're part of it. Was the red is part of their uniform, but it was not the dominant color. So those red flags were really really pretty. Even the second flag that the three in the front brought out was pretty, but I don't know that it complemented the red. So if they switched, I think everybody should have switched. But other than that, my total feeling is meh.
All around, just me.
Yeah, like
Okay, that's fair. So, did you think the right band won?
no. And here's why I'm gonna tell you, because I know that that's y'all king, they the kings, but the double standard is crazy because y'all accepted that it's the band of the year. You're supposed to bring your best. And if you go out there and have mistakes and blunders, that you shouldn't win. That was the rationale for why Jackson didn't win against A&T 2 years ago. Y'all accepted that. Now I'm seeing all kinds of crazy comments like, ain't nobody never won a Super Bowl without making mistakes. Mistakes don't take away from the overall performance. They still are the kings.
They said it like
But
that.
y'all, that's what they said. That's what I heard in my head because that's how they be talking. But when it was Jackson, it was cool that was the rationale. But now that it applies to Southern, then it's, oh, well, they repeated part of their show. Well, you bring your A game. And if you decided, the administration there decided, the band staff there decided to do something new, and you come into something named Band of the Year, you execute it. And you're the Kings, right? I just think multiple people falling and them two cymbal players not knowing where they go, except for when they saw the drum major marching down at 50, is diabolical. That's just how I feel. And did they show some drill technique and stuff, the shapes and all of that? I thought that was super cool. But when they was marching and drilling, you didn't hear as much as you heard when they were standing still because they executed those shapes, but they didn't think about how it impacted the music. Whereas with FAMU, they were drilling, they were doing things, but you still were able to get a full sound. That's just my perspective, and I know y'all gonna crucify me and y'all not gonna like what I got to say, but the hypocrisy and the double standard because it's Southern is crazy to me because y'all, oh my God, I can't believe Jackson would go to the Band of the Year and they deserve to lose because you don't make those kind of mistakes. Well, if that's the standard we going by, then FAMU should have won. I ain't see nobody fall from FAM, and I ain't see nobody not in a right spot. Double deduction. Well, if we go double, no, triple, because two people fail. And then you had the snafu with them being in the wrong spot. I don't know.
I wish I had my soundboard. So a couple of things that I want to bring to
KB, they definitely moving the goalposts.
and shout out to KB. I saw your post about it.
Let me tell you something, because you know I hadn't watched this. I watched this for you because I wasn't watching it. But I knew something had happened because KB posted a snippet of them falling. And I was like, who is that? He told me it was Southern, and I responded to him and saying, that's your king.
Oh my God. Y'all hitting the Black Panther. I wanna bring something to people's attention. You know, fair is fair, right is right, wrong is wrong, bias is bias, all the kind of stuff, right? One of the things I try not to do is be biased. I try to call it for what I see, right? And that goes Norfolk included. If I see something from Norfolk and I'll be like most people know, I'll put it out there. I marched in the Legion. I love the Legion. I'm a Dizziac, all that kind of stuff. I believe that even to this day, between A&T and Norfolk, probably one of the two best drilling bands in HBCUs. Can Norfolk be slightly boring sometimes? Absolutely. That doesn't take away from the cleanliness of what they do on the field. So I know how to be very, very open with my thoughts and very objective. So with that being said, let me go ahead and say this. The kings of fast cadence, when they rattle, not one person trip.
Not a single one.
Not one. Not one. The originators, not one single person trip. So we're going to take that into consideration. There was a lot of people who were saying, well, FAM's drill was the same. Listen to me. I don't know if FAM's drill was the same or not.
Me neither.
What I do know is, let's be very clear. Most of the time, when you are being judged in a competition, from DCI to your high school festivals, when you go to a battle of the bands, most of the time, you're going to put a drill on the field that you've done before. And all you're going to do is clean it to the best of your ability. So them doing a old drill is not a deduction on points.
No, and if they deducted points for that, first of all, who went and said, "Ooh, we've seen this already"? Because just because I'm gonna speak for me, it's been some times that my girl have done a routine twice, and the quality was better one time than the other. Just because you're doing something that's old, don't mean you're gonna execute it correctly. But what I'm saying is, so we giving out points for you trying something new but not doing it successfully? Y'all had none of this energy when it was Jackson. Please. That's crazy to me. We can find a way to justify any and everything when we want to.
I'm gonna tell y'all not gonna sell me. And I seen Justice say it in the comments just now. I just looked. Y'all not gonna sell me on doing the same drill thing. I'm sorry. That's not grounds for not scoring high in points.
Right, because
there's no rubric that says you
did
can't
they tell
do
them
the
that?
same drill.
Did they tell them that?
I'm pretty sure they did not. I can make a call and ask. But I'm pretty sure they did not. I'm pretty sure the conversation was you can't bring the same drill. Not to mention the fact that you are at the end of the year. What you think I'm about to put 200, 300 kids?
That hard? Please.
Right. I'm going to pull out an old drill.
You understand me?
That's not gonna happen, bro. I'm telling you. So that's not an argument for me. I'm not gonna use it.
No, and if they use that, that's a problem. But I'm honestly gonna say we ain't gonna win these people over. But to me, y'all did not have that same energy. Y'all dragged Jackson. Y'all dragged them through the hot coals of band. Like, they went down there and they fell apart. They didn't execute. How you gonna go to the band of the year? A&T should have won. Blah, blah, blah. If that's the standard, then in this situation, they should have lost. I'm going by the energy y'all gave 2 years ago.
So Portia saying keep that same energy is what
Keep
she
that
said.
same energy.
Now, I will say this. I believe, and this is my personal opinion, I believe that honestly what put Southern over, even with the mistakes, is the fact that the Dolls perform.
You
I
say
don't-
what now?
I believe that's what put Southern over is because of the Dolls. There was a dance girl element to it that probably added more to their score. And I'm gonna say this: if there was a score, because from what I'm hearing, ain't nobody heard no scores.
I still ain't got a score sheet.
Uh-oh. Dang it! Where's my daggone sound? I can't hit none of my buttons because they don't
And I
work.
know for a fact, based on some conversations I've had this year, they are allowing people who know nothing about color guard to judge color guard, and that's a slap in the face. Do better, band of the year. Yeah. Tried to force somebody I know to judge color guard, and they told her that she had to, and she told them, no, I ain't doing it.
So, Fred said he want to come in and go back and forth with Justin for a while.
Fred who?
We gonna see. So this is what I said though. I did say this on my LBR, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I said that Band of the Year shot themselves in the foot anyway, from the beginning, because when Jackson and Bethune pulled out, the quote unquote sketchiness of their adjudication, which ended up all the way at the end being.
I'm sorry. Can you pause there? I just want to say the Norfolk State University Spartan Legion did not submit a single video this year. Thank you kindly. Go ahead.
Okay. Put that caveat in there. But ended up with Southern and Southern and Fam. Basically, once Southern had those mistakes on the field, because we already knew when Fam and Southern got put together, I knew Southern was going to win from the beginning. Not because I thought one was better than the other. I knew that from a perspective of how business and all that stuff works, they would have got more flack from making Fam win twice. So
that and they picked these two because they wanted to draw a crowd. It's not even about these scores no more, because neither one of these schools was number one, but they knew they couldn't bring A&T back a third year. They knew they couldn't do that. So now at this point, it's a strategic move. They wanted to see. I kind of think if we would have bid a little bit, it would have been us and Southern. But we was like, to hell with that. We don't want nothing to do with this because it's raggedy. But yeah, they just picking. Well, we think this would be a good matchup.
Well, I 100% agree. The thing is, they were gonna lose either way, Band of the Year, right? Because if they were going to automatically give it to Southern anyway, because of the fact that they weren't going to allow Fam to win twice, they would have gotten over well with that. But because Southern messed up on the field, it didn't matter which way they would have went. Because if they would have said Fam won, see, that's why we don't need our types of bands, because Jackson lost and now Southern lost. Those types of bands just don't work. They only want a certain type of band.
Yeah, they discriminating against us.
Right. And now the Southern one, see, now it's rigged because Southern had all these mistakes and they shouldn't have. So either way, Band of the Year would have lost. So what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, it's been raggedy. With the person in comments talking about it's raggedy, it's been raggedy. Because how we've been taking up space these past couple of years when we haven't submitted a video since the first year is messed up. There are bands that want to be a part of this. There are bands that want to be adjudicated or whatever the heck this is. We don't. And you still putting us in there. Why? And I thought it was completely disrespectful for Bethune and Jackson to put out letters saying that they didn't want to participate, and you still judge them and still rank them. I feel like that was a slap in the face and that was disrespectful. We been saying, and I've been saying, I'm sure if you pull up previous years of this, I've been saying it's raggedy. Been saying it. Would say it to them, to their face, raggedy. Because I want to see a score sheet. If you saying that I need to improve or that these bands need to improve, and you ranking me, and you saying we got a notification saying that we was top in musicianship. Okay, well, we evidently need to improve in everything else. Where my score sheet at? Where my score sheet at? How I'm gonna get better? Better. How I'm gonna get that? What was your question, Julie? I'm sorry, because I had to address that. I ain't changed up my tune. I've been saying it's raggedy.
That she for just to clarify, she has been saying that for quite some time. No, my question was, do you feel like they would have lost either way, regardless of who won?
Yeah, nobody's gonna be satisfied. You can't never satisfy us. That's just, but they've satisfied more people than they would have satisfied if FAMU would have won twice. They have appeased the SWAC, and it made it's possible for a SWAC to win. And it's not just all, because they don't consider FAMU SWAC. A lot of y'all still consider them to be MEAC, but that one of those bands didn't win. A true SWAC band won. So now, more people are consider legitimizing this farce.
The way you said it is hilarious. More people. So
please understand that them bringing Southern down was strategic. Yeah, they wanted to say it doesn't matter that these two big band programs have pulled out. They been around begging people to legitimize this foolishness. I want to see a score sheet.
So I and I'm gonna kind of look at what they said in the comments. I try not to look in the comments much, but that's something I was thinking about earlier, because I did see somebody in my comments earlier when I had the LBR who said this. Listen, if the cymbal players were the only mistake, tell me where the mistake was with FAM.
Right.
Like, if the cymbal players were the only obvious mistake, right? Where was the obvious mistake with FAM show that is comparable? That would be my question to the masses, right? So if the only obvious mistake was the cymbal player, then that's a deduction, in my opinion. If there's no obvious mistake with FAM, that's not a deduction. So that means points are lost, which means that at some point, one group is under the other based on a mistake that was made. In my opinion.
I'm sorry, them people falling. And I see somebody saying you mostly saw that online. How you miss somebody laid out? And he didn't get up fast. The tuba player did not get up expeditiously.
He got up as fast as he could with a sousaphone.
Yeah, but I mean, meh. And they saying Stevie Wonder head was in the wrong place. That's your opinion.
Yeah, we don't know what that drill concept was. Because I said it. I said if it were my decision, I would have put his head inside of the stick man. But we don't know if that was what the drill design was for his head to be over the piano.
What I know,
we didn't need that. We don't know that.
Is that them two people shouldn't have been on that 50, and the only reason they realized that they was in the wrong spot is because they had to move for that drum major.
I don't know how they didn't realize it when they looked to their left and their right.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Listen,
part of the problem, and I'm telling you, I see this at Norfolk, so pray for me. These kids don't look left nor right. They just be.
That's what I was about to ask. I was about to say. I was about to say. I apologize because I know these are young kids and they're doing the best that they can. So I do take understanding in that. I just know that when I march, if I know that I'm supposed to have a company front to my left and my right, and it's empty, I would have moved back a long time ago. I would have looked at the peripherals and be like, oh shoot, I wouldn't even made it to that whole extra yardage. I would have been like, oh, that took a step wrong. I was wrong. So that's all I'm saying. I don't know, man. It's I don't know how y'all make it out there, but I mean, mistakes were made. I never messed
I
up
don't
on a drill. So
have. This is just our opinion. My main thing, because like I said, it has potential, and we've talked about that. That there's some things that they could do that I think would make this whole thing better. But my major thing that I'm concerned about is how y'all switch up. It don't be the same energy when it comes to the Kings, and that's cool. But I'm gonna call it out. Y'all was going in on Jackson.
I don't know if people were going in on Jackson though.
Yes, they were.
So let me restate that. I distinctly remember people being upset that Jackson didn't win more than people saying it was rigged. More than people being excited that A&T won.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking at it a wrong way.
I saw people saying all kinds of stuff about it, but it is what it is. I mean, they are doing what they have to do to make money. And so I guess and now since it was more people than it's been the last couple of years, but I think that's partly because Fam has a huge fan base in Atlanta, and Southern, I don't know, but I know there are a lot of fan people in Atlanta. So, yeah, they probably think they're doing a good job. Child, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's ultimately what I said. I said at the end of the day, Fam and Southern going was definitely a promotional thing. Southern's people travel. Even if you don't have a big fan, I don't know if they do have a big fan base in Atlanta or not, but I know that they do travel. And I know that Fam is a household name just like Southern is. And so they're going to bring their people. I mean, it just is what it is. And you got to remember, Fam was the winners of last year, and so they wanted to see if they can keep their title. And so that's just what it was. So I definitely thought it was a promotional thing. From my promotional background, I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? I understand what they were doing. I got it.
Yeah.
I
just want them to stop lying about it.
That's what I was about to say. I think for me, being transparent is better than trying to mask it or disguise it as something else and using great verbiage to try to mask it. Like, don't use the verbiage. Just be upfront. You know what I'm saying?
Call it an invitational.
That would be perfect.
Call it invitational.
That would be perfect. That would be great switching of names to make sure that everybody is clear and understanding and concise on what they're getting into versus trying to make it or making it an adjudicated process.
No, especially when I ain't got no score sheet. That's crazy.
You really gonna bring up the score sheet a lot.
Listen, I'm sorry. I think that you cannot be adjudicating me, and I don't know what my scores are. What's the point of the adjudication process?
To basically put you in a ranking system and for you to get better.
Right. How do I get better?
Oh yeah, you scores, notes,
feedback.
Yeah.
Right. Call it an invitational and invite who you want to, and people gonna show up or they're not. I still think it's not smart to have two other bands in the city with fans and not invite them. Prairie View and South Carolina State were there. I'm sorry, even if they play in between the divisions, I just think it's not smart. I'm saying if our focus is money, it's not smart.
So here's where I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm gonna slightly agree, but I'm gonna disagree with you. I absolutely agree that would be great marketing. I don't think it's possible, and the reason why I don't think it's possible is because you're asking for two bands who are going to perform the following day to also perform the previous night. What are they going to perform? They're going to perform the same shows they did for halftime anyway, because they're not going to perform a different show. Not to mention that most of those bands pull up the night before. Well, no, they pull up the night before. So I don't think that they will want to tire themselves out by performing that Friday to get up again to perform that Saturday. Then I think, if I'm not mistaken, the stadium is only booked for a specific window of hours. So I think all of those things coupled together is the reason why they don't do it. And I also think that was the reason why they decided to do the high school, to, one, garner more attention to bring into the stadium because parents are going to travel with their babies. Two, to showcase the high schools within the Georgia area. And then three, because they can't get those two university bands, they filled it with the high school spots. That's my thought process. I could be absolutely wrong, but that's what I think. I don't think it's a bad idea to get them, but I think those
7:30
things,
to 10. It ain't taking 4 bands that long, even 6 bands that long. How long is these field shows?
the field shows, I think they're between 10 to 12 minutes.
Okay.
So
2 bands could take 30 minutes. So 2 more bands, that's an hour. If the high schools, if they're going that long, that's an hour and a half.
So you gotta take.
Oh, they do play in the stands. I forgot about that because I ain't watching.
You gotta take.
I don't know what they did in the stands. I don't watch none of that.
I watched the stands perform.
I didn't. I don't care.
You're so anti.
I don't.
But no, you got to take into consideration stands performance and also getting on and getting off the field, setting up for the next band. I think all those things.
Know what y'all are doing for 2.5 hours.
I just told you. I understand everything that you're saying. I think the logistics part about it, I think, is where some of those issues come into play. So again, I don't think I agree that I would like to see the Celebration Bowl bands in this band of the year, even just as exhibition. At the same time, I don't know if it's possible to get them there. So that's my thing. So I could be wrong.
Hey, it ain't none of it really my business. We just gonna see, how this continues to go. I pray to the gods that Norfolk State never gets invited. I don't ever want to go.
Why? You don't want to be. You don't want to be considered band of the year and hold a nice.
Absolutely, the hell not.
Why? You don't want the money?
That ain't no money for us. Hold on, because they don't even give you 100,000. Okay, let's break that down. Okay, they give you 40 or 45,000 for travel. Okay, right. The last time the Legion came to Atlanta for a night, with how far we are, we don't stay in hotels that you can get into your room from the outside. So I think for the buses and the hotel, everything, it costs us $120,000, right?
Wait a minute. I just had to back up. We don't stay in hotels that you can get into from the outside.
You can access your room door from the outside. No, we don't do that. So either way, by the time the math is done, we would come home with $20,000. Hell no. Absolutely not. And y'all pulling numbers from wherever you pulling from. I'm pulling the numbers from the document that was sent to the director of bands at Norfolk State University. Thank you. So maybe they giving different bands different travel budgets. I don't know, but it ain't gonna matter for us. It cost us $120,000 the last time we came down there overnight because we ain't standing no hole in the wall. So it ain't worth it. And I don't want to be cutting my Thanksgiving short. It's been cold as I don't know what in Norfolk. I don't want to do it.
Why the Legion so bougie?
Let me tell you something. We bougie for a reason. Because when we came to that SWAC MEAC, they put us, the band stayed in the Sonesta. Portia didn't stay in no Sonesta. That was the nastiest hotel I ever seen in my whole life.
Sonesta just sounds like a disease.
It sounds a mess. And the ratings, the cheerleading coach had to leave and go by raid because it was a family of bugs living in her room. Please. But yeah, I heard the same thing, KB, that Jackson still ain't got all their money. So no, I ain't interested.
Yeah, I definitely agree. When you talk distance, that's a completely different conversation when you talk about how much money is being divvied out to you, because distance is definitely going to dictate how much money you spend to get there. Now, well, I ain't.
Now, some of these bands are, you'll be surprised where these bands are staying at.
I mean, some bands and some programs do settle for stuff. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, some bands and some programs will settle for certain things and let that be what it is. You know, Legion just bougie.
Yeah. Justin talking about, yeah, I like how, no, we ain't standing no, I ain't coming home with nothing I ain't go with.
But Portia, hold up, wait a minute. Didn't we stay in some hotels that you could enter to from outside when we was in the band?
Baby, I didn't. La Portia did not.
Okay. Maybe I could have swore we did when we was in FAM.
I didn't see, that was before my time. I'm just telling you my experience and when I was in the band and when I was on staff. I ain't never stayed nowhere where you can scan your car and you was out in the elements. Okay, nope.
Portia, you came in when we got super bougie.
Baby,
Okay, so we helped to add to Portia's bougie. You know what? I can't even talk about that because we used to get stipends back in the day. So that's a whole different conversation. Shoot, we used to get bread. We used to get broke off for them trips. You hear me? Listen, we had so many people going to the mall. Just
listen,
band
off your stipend money.
And because listen, we didn't need the stipend.
Because we didn't need it. They still fed us. I don't even understand. I was coming home because I ain't live on campus paying bills. Let me put this on the light bill when I get back. Yeah.
So I guess the Legion always been bougie. I never thought about it. I ain't never put it out.
We not staying nowhere. So the money it would take us to get down there, I mean, we'll come for exposure? Like, nah, like it ain't. It's to continue to have to, then I don't even know if we would net that, because then we would have to, Norfolk State has started that after Thanksgiving, when they go home for Thanksgiving, they don't come back. They finish the semester virtually. So we would have to pay to keep the dorms open, pay to have the CAF open.
We're not just going to run by this. This is a thing?
Yes. They leave, classes end like the Monday or Tuesday before Thanksgiving. The rest of the semester is virtual. If you have an additional class time, it's online. Your finals, all that's virtual. They don't come back. Norfolk State been cleared out for weeks. How far are we from Atlanta? In a car, it's 9. So on a bus,
It's about what
12,
12?
13,
Yeah.
12-ish, 13. I don't know. Depends on how many stops, but it ain't close.
Wait a minute. No. We're not gonna gloss by this. Do you
Yeah,
know?
they
Listen,
left
no,
weeks ago.
bro. No,
They
listen.
left weeks
As a
ago.
young brother from Houston, Texas, who had to make that trip from Thanksgiving to
Yep.
fly back to the city, to come back to the school, to
don't
fly
have-
back, bro.
They don't do that no more, bro.
Bro, these young.
Oh, they got it made. They have a fall break and everything. A couple of days
You
off.
know how many times we beg for fall break?
Nah, we
Matter
ain't
of
got
fact, I tell you one different. See, now we talking about Norfolk stuff for a second. I tell you one different that frustrated me when I saw that they had it. When they incorporated activity hour as a thing, do you know how many people miss class just to go to the student union at 12 o'clock because there was not an official activity hour? Like, my class was in Brown Hall. There were multiple times where I was sitting in Brown looking out the window, looking at everybody who didn't have a class at 12 on the student union, setting it out with the frat, with the sorority, and I'm sitting over there like, dog, it's unfair. And they got
Yeah.
these kids.
Yeah,
bougie.
they don't come back. They don't have to. The dorms are cleared out.
This some real bougie stuff. Well,
So
ain't
I
paying no
mean,
rent
we
right
would
now.
have to pay to have that. It just
To keep the
wouldn't
doors open.
financially it wouldn't be feasible. It wouldn't be
It
beneficial.
doesn't benefit y'all, basically.
No.
Now, I will say this from a Legion perspective. I don't know. Is the exposure needed?
I don't know. Not enough for me. I don't.
What say ye in the comment section? Would you want to see Norfolk at Band of the Year?
I think it would just. I don't know. I don't
Because
know.
I think that's because the way that and I'm not trying to be funny, so I don't want anybody to take anything negative away about what I'm saying. But I really believe that most of the bands that are in Division 1 are the exposure groups. The groups that are heavily actively participating because their programs are looking
Needed.
for more exposure, right?
Mm-hmm.
In my brain, I don't know if Division 1 bands need that exposure, but then I think about programs like the Legion, where the Legion will pop out at random times at a random battle, but because they're so far away, there's not a lot of travel opportunities, so you don't see them a lot in big performances. But when they pop out big, and then they just go back into the Norfolk hole. So,
Well, let me say this: the question that what do the kids want when they heard all that went on with this foolishness? Mm-mm. We ain't interested. When I say we, I mean the whole Spartan Legion. We not interested.
one thing, and I think the way that you put that is makes a lot more sense, because one thing that we have been, and I don't know what other band rooms do, so I'm not gonna try to take anything away from any other bands, but I do know from Norfolk, our directors were very open with us. When we did Honda the first time, Doc didn't want to really do the second time, but he was like, "We gonna do it this last time, and we not going back. That's it." During the Dr. Sanford era, and he was he told us why. He wanted an adjudicated performance. He said it was not enough money for us to be going down there wasting our time, because back then it was like $20,000 they get a band. I think it was somewhere around there. He was like, "Yo, this isn't worth it. We went out there, we did what we needed to do the first time. They invited us to go back. We're gonna go back this time, and that's it." And if I'm not mistaken, that was the reason. Didn't we play "We Are the Champions" the second time? Coming off the field,
Or something like that. Yeah.
So he made it very clear, we not coming back to this thing as long as I'm director here. So
I'm gonna tell y'all now. The comment is gonna be Norfolk and Southern. If that happens, they're sending somebody who didn't send them videos. Again, that is a problem. I can't explain to y'all that we've not sent a video in 2 full seasons, but we keep being in the top 4, top 5, whatever. I think that's messed up because there are programs who want those spots, who are vying for this money, who are in close proximity, who would benefit, who have a band that's going to take less to travel, that could benefit from this. So why are we taking up spots from them?
I wonder, because you're saying this, right? And I've heard this from other people in a couple of other bands. Um, I'm really curious to know how many active bands are participating.
We'll never know. But I know we didn't. And last year Chuck said they didn't. Bethune hasn't participated at all ever. And clearly Jackson didn't participate this year. And all of those bands that I named are on there. But how we end up being number 4, how we place number 1 overall in musicality. It doesn't matter whether we told them we wanted to participate or not. What you said was you had to submit videos to participate. So what you're doing is wasting time having somebody on your team go scour the internet to find our videos.
Yeah, so that part is true. If you don't submit, they're going to find a video on the internet. That part I know for a fact after the multiple conversations that I've had is if you don't submit, that's by your choice, but we're going to go find a video, and from there we're going to judge the video that we find. So that part is very true. Now you not having scores, I don't know about that. You ain't got no scores on the video in which y'all don't know what they watch.
Well, they reached out to Bethea and said that Norfolk State got number 1 in music. So who lying? And there was somebody standing on the field with a little sign saying overall in music, Norfolk State University. So there's a picture. They handed out, I don't want to say superlatives, but they handed out caption awards. And there was somebody standing there with a flag that said Norfolk State University. And they reached out to Bethea and asked him 2 days before, was he coming to accept this flag or whatever it was.
And Bethea was like, "Nah, I'm good." Okay. All right. This is interesting. We got some interesting stuff here. I will say this. I would have loved to have seen Texas Southern and Southern at Band of the Year, or Texas Southern and Jackson, but since they dropped out. But I will say I'm not interested in, and this is very, very true. I'm really not interested in seeing them on the field.
Who, Texas Southern?
Texas Southern and Southern.
Well,
Texas
doesn't
Southern.
that happen every year anyway? They don't play each other?
They do.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I think right now Texas Southern is really in my top 5 of, bands this year. And I think their field presentation has gotten a lot better. I think Brother Simmons has tried some new things. So from a field perspective, I'd be interested in seeing them, but them together, not really. I'd be more interested in seeing them in the stands than on the field. Texas Southern and Jackson, I would be more interested in seeing them in the stands on the field, even though I would argue that when Jackson really, really commits to field presentation, I think they do a really good job. Now, if it's just kind of like, we got to go up here, throw a JSU up, do one little, 2-step, and then, get it ready for the dancers, then I don't really care for them. But when they really commit, oh yeah, I think they do a really good job. All right, dang, I ain't got no soundboard. This sucks. Hey man, somebody send me a reminder to get my cord for my soundboard. I can't do it. It's empty. But we get ready to get out of here. Y'all keep the conversation going. Portia, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Um, I'll say again, like I said before, it has potential, but things will have to change. I do think that no matter what they do, we the blacks aren't going to be satisfied. But I do think more transparency would be received better, and it would be okay to just call it an invitational and invite who you want to. Pick matchups that you feel like nobody, people want to see, and go from there. I do think that if you're going to invite bands that are further up with the some size to them, that you have to be considerate of that. So, but it does have potential. We'll see what happens. I guess it's here to stay, so we'll see.
Yeah, we've all said it on many occasions. The the understanding of why they're doing it is very noble, and I think that the intention is there. Um, Execution is a completely different situation, and I think the way you put it by calling it an invitational makes absolutely more sense than the way that they've kind of been going about it. And honestly, it removes a lot of the scrutiny that they've been getting in the past, right? You call it an invitational. Now nobody's basing it off the scores. Now it's just, all right, everybody's waiting to see who's going to be invited. And then you can truly move it in the way of, I just want this to be a grand production. I want to bring as many people and fill up the seats based on whoever I pick. So I don't disagree with that. I think that's a great idea. I'm curious to see what happens going forward. I know that I do have to. I'm gonna make a couple of calls and have some conversations now that it's over, and pick some brains and see where some thoughts are, because it's really I'm really interested to see where their thoughts are now that everything is kind of over and we've moved past it. Um, ain't no more band coming up, man. The only thing that we got coming up now is parade season / concert season, and I'm interested in seeing that. I know the National Battle of the Bands in Florida is supposed to be happening. I forgot what date that is though. So I
It's
know that's
January. I think it's Martin Luther King weekend.
yeah. So that's supposed to be coming up. So I knew that as soon as I saw that, they were going to try to get all the Florida bands there. So that's the way I look at it, the Florida Battle of the Bands. But I would also argue that you can't have a Battle of the Bands, a national Battle of the Bands like that, and you not invite the home groups. So even when we have national Battle of the Bands here in Houston, it doesn't make any sense that you don't either invite Texas Southern or Prairie View or both. So to not have the Florida bands there would absolutely not make sense. So we have that coming up. But then again, like I said, you also have parade season and concert season. I'm interested to see what concert season is looking like. DCI summer camps are or not summer camps, but spring camps are popping up, and so I'm interested in seeing what that's going to look like. New band directors have been named in specific places. I think Skeegee just got a new band director, so shout out to them. I think it was Skeegee that I saw that just got a new band director. Some other programs that are looking for new directors. A couple of retirements have happened, and so Godspeed to those who have retired. You have put in some great work, and uh, you know your legacy will live on. John Cena retired. He had his last match this past weekend. If anybody knows anything about wrestling, Gunther tapped him out. It's a whole nother conversation. I think Well, I ain't gonna get into the wrestling conversation, but with that being said, though, man, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, give all or send all this information out. You can also keep the comments going inside of the comment section as we go off air, and if you're watching this on playback, you can also keep the comment section or comments going in the comment section. Also, you can stop by our store and you can get anything in our store, and you can get 30% off your purchase. All you have to do is type in HBCU band. Again, all you got to do is type in HBCU band, and you can get 30% off your purchase. We're definitely gonna be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully, we got the whole crew here. No, No, don't be trying to get time off. We just had the longest time off. You see her face right now? She trying to she about to get into, well, look at here. I'm about to
You
no.
want to have a show on New Year's Eve?
Dang it. That's not New Year's Eve, is it?
It is.
That's the 31st?
Next Wednesday is the 24th. The Wednesday after that is the 31st.
Dang it. All right, we're gonna have to figure out something. We've been off for too long. And now we need to just roll out a whole bunch of episodes.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out, and then when y'all see us pop up, that's how you know that's what the episode is. But other than that, this has been super dope. This has been super dope. I ain't got no soundboard. Usually I turn my music up. But we will see y'all next time. I can't turn nothing up. I need my cord. All right.
Merry
y'all.
Christmas, everybody. Or happy holidays, whatever you
We're not
celebrate.
gonna, Feliz Navi Dad. Navi Dad.
I think it's Navidad.
That's spelled dad. Spelled dad. Anyway, I'll let y'all later. We'll see y'all next time.